without Jeff. I just changed the name. It's about my brother who passed away in January. And my sister, it comes from a conversation my sister and I had that we were with him when he passed away. And it's like, why? It's so unfair that that's your last memory. You know, why can't you have a different memory to replace what's... So it inspired me to write this poem. Your house is empty without you. The cars have been sold. It's better that way. I missed you even before you left. Walking up the driveway to the side door of your house, I could already envision the time when I would come in alone and try to figure out what to do. Stepping softly into the kitchen, I would stop for a moment before I got to the living room. You must not see me cry. You are frightened enough knowing that your days are numbered. I will not make worse. Now I wonder, did I act too strong? Did I seem uncaring? There's no in between for me. It's either steal or total collapse. Little brother, I've always looked out for you. Not that you were incapable of anything, but you were always vulnerable. I saw you last night in my dreams. You were in the Rite Aid, walking in the next aisle, and you looked great. I tried to get to you, but you were always one aisle beyond me. It's okay, I'm not upset. You must have known that I just needed another glimpse of you.
Just that one?
That's it.
Lisa, then you're right.
This is called Please Don't Shoot the Messenger. I would like to take this opportunity to speak for young men everywhere. While I have no experience as a young man, I believe that certain experiences can assist me in my understanding of the young male. For precedence, I would like to refer to the infamous Clarence Thomas hearings when a panel of men defined sexual harassment. I would then refer to the Santa Fluke hearings where men everywhere debated the dark side of the birth control pill. I would like to turn the tables for a bit and notice how I put a gentle tone to my voice so as not to threaten any listeners. It is true that I have never attempted to walk in a young man's shoes. While men favor, I tend to tolerate it best. I don't like sports or watching strippers. Cars, I believe, are merely a mode of transportation and not an extension of my genitalia. I despise beer and can't understand how anybody can get past the first bitterness to acquire a taste. I am trained as a female, taught to be uncomfortable in strange places among strange people. I am, by nature, artistic. I also understand that I am currently in the presence of artistic people. A mixed group of male and female, and it is this knowledge that gives me the courage to voice my observations. So what qualifies me to speak of the young man? The same theory that a group of men can talk over a woman. I do appreciate young men. Young men are full of hormones that separate them from young women. It is these hormones that give them their deep, great voices, their hard, muscular bodies, their angular faces, and their passion for women. Hormones race through their bloodstream, stop short of their brain, and settle into their testicles and pull on their penises. And this is where I'd like to begin my message. Students sit in a classroom for the prescribed time allotted by the Department of Education. They speak to lecturers. They listen to lectures, read the prescribed text, and take the required tests. Many pass the regulations and proceed to graduation, sometimes with a perfect 4.0 GPA. They go on to graduate with honors and are wooed into college programs. Here I'd like to take the opportunity to state what is common knowledge but not always thoroughly acknowledged. Young women statistically outperform their male counterparts in the high school academic battle. But this is merely my taking advantage of the fact that women who are often regulated to second-class citizens do outperform men in several statistical studies. Again, don't shoot the messenger. Now, I'm not stating these facts to belittle the young male. To put it indelicately, there are few brain cells short of a full lobe. Or their full loads don't come from their heads that reside on their necks. It's a proven fact. Their brains are not fully developed when they graduate from high school. And why they suffer this immaturity for an unfully formed brain is the very definition of immaturity. Young men are not always without good intentions. Young men have been known to pull some very heroic stunts. They should run the heroic equivalent of Miss Congeniality, if we could find some way to judge men for their physical attributes. We need these young men in time of adversity, but too often they are the ones exploited by society. While a young boy is developing, society hands him a ball and tells him to fight for his sponsor, the school, and his hometown. To the victors go the glory. Their names are placed on plaques and trophies. Their likenesses are in the papers and on the news. Woe to the young man without athletic bones. How can he claim his share of the glory? What must he do to earn respect from his community? The Army to the rescue. While the Army protects, the Army saves sportless wonders. But it is not the few, the proud, the brave who are enlisted in. It is often the young male who has worn out his welcome at home, or the young man lacking qualifications to be gainfully employed at a minimum wage job. The warrior wannabes riddling fed alpha males who somehow fail to earn the respect of the community. The poster boy soldier is eye candy for a meandering young man. Recruiters take these young men with little options in life and feed them a line of bullshit and sign them up on the bottom line. Did I mention weapons? The large gun, little penis debate? The government puts guns into the young, immature hands, trains them as killers, brings forth from within their unformed minds a desire to kill, indoctrinate them with the ability to kill, scream at them their worthlessness if they do not learn how to kill, beat it into their unformed brains in no uncertain terms that if they fuck up, they will be killed and their buddies will be killed. The Army then sells them off to the foreign land to go and kill the brown-skinned man. These are the men doing the fighting, and they fuck up. And it is the politicians in general, men past the age of 40, when their brain has finally finished its development, who send these young men. It is these older men who misrepresent the truth to keep public support going for the war. The energy that goes into propaganda often outweighs the battles fought on the front lines. It is the leaders of the world who determine policy, dragging the masses with them, the masses who can always be counted on to do the bidding of their leaders. All the leaders have to do is instill fear, and naysayers, well, you lack patriotism and expose the country to grave dangers. It works every time. What is sold to the citizens is an illusion. Politicians speak of good times and the citizens buff off the peace pipe. They go home without universal health care, job security, or strong welfare safety net. Well, stay tuned next week as I talk to you about, honey, do you really want to be on the front line?
Okay.